Hello, everybody. I'm Bevis. I'm here with Hank Klosterman. Hank, what's happening today on this Saturday morning with our
You
coffee
know, just,
coffee
just
talk?
yeah, just a little coffee talk this morning. So do you actually have coffee in yours? Because mine,
Yes, I it's an hour earlier in Montana. I definitely have coffee in mine in this Saturday morning.
so Irish
Why?
cream
Why? What do
for
you got in
me, I
yours?
guess.
What's in yours?
Well, little Irish
None of your
cream,
none of your
Irish coffee.
business, Bo.
But you know what?
That makes
Somehow I end up always being the guy that like cracks a beer too early. How come I got to be that guy with
I
you?
don't know. Hey, if you're wear if the shoe fits, I guess. I don't know.
Hey,
I'm not judging you, Hank.
my mom didn't
I'm
raise a
definitely
quitter.
not judging you.
There you go.
Anyway, how was your week? How you been?
I'm going to tell you this week was down week, down news, followed by down placements, which we got in spite of the secondary Trump dump on top of all sorts of poor news. We did a hell of a job, and at the end of the day, and it's funny, we ended up with a bullish cattle on feed report. And if you watch the market action, I think people need to come to a realization that somebody's going to have the information before it gets released, because
No. You
obviously
think?
yesterday, bullish cattle on feed report, somebody got it, somebody traded it. I love it. I love to see the market action. But like I said, it's just, we got smacked in the face with news all week. And, it was kind of a pleasant surprise, made for a fun Friday for myself to get a bullish cattle on feed report and pick our heads up off the ground. And I'm overindulged. I think I got overserved. I'm not going to say overindulged. I got overserved,
That will
but,
happen, especially in that David City, Nebraska country.
yeah,
Those bartenders are pretty trigger happy when it comes to the
heavy
you know,
pours,
heavy
heavy
pours.
pours. So I think it's that they're so interactive with you that they're talking and they
Yeah,
just keep
they're
talking and
nice.
pouring,
They're nice,
you
simple
know,
people. They're fun to talk to. I enjoy them.
great barmaids, great barmaids. But,
Hey,
back over to the markets.
before
Yeah.
we
Like,
get too deep in the weeds, I kind of wanted to premise our conversation with just a friend of mine, an old guy, told me once that was suffering from a terminal illness. He said, "When you thought you were going to die yesterday, today is sweet." Uh,
yeah,
yeah, he did die, but anyway,
that
I
is a
felt like that was
great
just kind
word.
of an uplifting quote from a guy with terminal illness that I thought we should start this off with, especially with what happened
Yeah.
yesterday and different things
Yeah.
going on.
The
So
market
yeah,
felt
let's just
terminally
remember
ill
we're
all
both
week.
breathing, both still alive, and hey, how about that?
Man, you're full of it. Did you go to church this morning?
No, that's tomorrow, dude. Come
No, I
on.
didn't know. I didn't know if you were a everyday kind of guy, or maybe you had adoration or something like that. So very
No, I'm
uplifting.
kind
I
of a
love it.
once every 6 monther, and my 6 month isn't due here for another 3 or 4 months, so I'm good.
Are you talking about AA or it's church?
I'm
Okay,
talking
back to
about going to
church.
church. I'm unfortunately talking about going to church. I need to start going a little more, praying a little more. But
But I'm going to talk a little bit about futures. So futures technically just sucked. The charts kind of sucked there. Key levels were 215 on October fats and 328 on September feeders. We needed to hold that area. We saw 2 days where it dipped below those levels. But really, what's key about technical trading and the charts is that a weekly finish is more of an indicator of where the market's going to be. So we settled well above those marks. I looked at, if you're a technical trader and you've put in an area of support, you could say you could be a bottom picker here, and look for it to bounce, which seasonally we bounce here. And I'll get into what I think is optimistic and what's not. Um, Obviously, going to cattle on feed where we missed the placements by 4%, which you and I both know. We work the country for feeder cattle. We have they're not bringing them to town. They don't like the price, just the same
right,
way that a cattle feeder would fight the price. You don't like his packer price. He's going to feed those cattle longer. And that's what the cattle on feed is showing you with the marketing number, is that we're feeding those cattle longer. I think it's the same situation, the yearlings. Here's a good rule of thumb. we always run out of money before we run out of cattle. And I know everybody's
I've
like,
heard you
hey,
say that a
they're
few
not out
times.
there. Now, given this time frame and the window that we have, I hit on it last week that I think we could have a really good winter market. Showing those low placements, it could be a good winter market for the fat cattle, which in turn should help our January feeders. And those have been a huge discount. $40 discount in some instances from the front month feeder. I look for some of those bear spreads to kind of start working, or those back months finally say, okay, we got, we're going to have to put some value in this board here. And I think that could be the trend moving into January. Now, let's look at the upfront picture. Upfront picture is that we know we got 102% cattle on feed. We know carcass weights are bigger. Orange Man just thinks that he's going to lower the price of beef, which somebody needs to teach him economics, that's not really how it works, in the cattle industry. But, he's facing us with a little bit of bad, or trying to put some bad news out there. We got to remember that we're going into midterms here. Every politician acts like a jackass going into midterms, and they try and grasp at everything, which is what we're seeing here. So I look at the market and say, how much more bad news can you throw at it? And, they were throwing us every freaking junk ball all week. And then finally we get a home run at the end of the week. That being said, we know that it's the time of year where, the crush comes into line, meaning that it gets better for the cattle feeder. Margin gets better to place those cattle. The big news yesterday following the cattle on feed report was Pro Farmer is out in the country saying this is really a shit crop compared to what we thought it was. They lowered the yield by 7 bushels an acre, which could be an explosive corn market. Now, I think that cattle are due for a bounce, but I think there's going to be a very strong grain market out there, which may kind of, bring those feeders or not get much feeder action, at least here in the South. That being said, I watched your guys' video sales all week. I'm seeing northern, these grass specials, barbecue sales. The cattle are still bringing damn good price
Mhm.
at yearlings, knowing the value. So, in the face of red ink on the feedlot side, they're buying the better cattle. In the South, you get more of a corporate structure. A lot of those guys, they don't bet on the come. They got to have, hedgeable cattle, at least manageable cattle. You're going to start to see that north to south difference there, where they're going to have to buy the cattle right because they're buying in volumes. In the north, people are seeing value. They see a good winter market. They're going to pay up for the better quality, and we're going into winter. Who wouldn't? I'd rather own, a good northern steer with good genetics that's probably had snow on its back before, going through winter versus buying something like my normal area of I-70 South. It's just finding value. So I think that's going to be a 2-tiered market on the physical feeder side. I think I say this every week is when we talk cash feeders, just stop looking at the frickin' board and do good
Yeah.
business. Uh, in spite of all that, topsy-turvy news. Honestly, Thursday, I would have looked at the market and said, I'm going to pull up a 2015 chart and it's pretty comparable. But the recovery at the end of the week says null and void to that.
Nolan, well, that's good to hear because I remember 2015 chart, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that comparable after this week.
Yeah, it's a kick in it was a kick in the nuts in 2015 to constantly fight this thing down. But honestly, we got to a spot where this market, the MACD and the RSI kind of indicating that this thing's oversold. It's due for a bounce. One bad week, let's have a good week.
Yeah, that's good to
And
hear.
yeah,
That optimistic
so
bounce is going to have some
yeah, and
resistance, but
I I
I'm
don't want to
with you. I'm
sound
hope.
too
Yeah,
bullish because I still think that there's a spot that people have to realize, especially guys that didn't market, pre-contract stuff like that. If you're waiting for the fall, do your diligence. Call your guy to get some LRP on, or make a plan to get those cattle forward contract or add value to them. Because I'm talking a winter market
right.
could be good. Um, the key here is winter market will be good, but where do we climb out of? Do we start at, do we climb back out from $3 feeders, $3.15 feeders, or do we hold this market here and climb back out and go back to the highs? So up front is my biggest fear here, is to look at it and say, hey, we got to do good business right here. And I wouldn't be, what level do we climb out of this? It could be little wild and woolly here and in a dog fight through the fall, but, going into winter, I like the market. So if there is somebody out there that's got calves and it wants to avoid probably a tough market in the sale barns when there's a lot of volume of ball and calves coming, look to add some value. Call your northern rep out there and get those cattle on the diamond ring sale.
That's going to be a good one, especially for this optimistic winter market we're speaking of.
Yeah, I mean, high fat cattle gets people where they're marketing, like, old rule of thumb, old school cattle feeders is they're going to have a pile of corn to feed up. And if you look at it, you're like, hey, I'm selling let's just give it a hypothetical. I'm selling 240 cash and I'm buying a 220 break even. Keep rolling,
Keep rolling.
So I know those deferred months are, the summer months, they look like shit, but we got a business to run. Like, we're not going to go get jobs in town. I think everybody says, oh, this cattle industry is so tough on me. I don't know that I know how to do anything else. Probably the same for you. Like, what are we going to be, greeters at Walmart? So
yeah,
I'm telling
what
people
is
that
plan B for us, Hank? Good Lord. I don't even want to think about it because it's depressing.
Yeah, plan B was something.
I would guarantee I'll have a name tag on my shirt, whatever it might be.
We are going to epically fail at an OnlyFans account, so we'll just stick in the cattle.
That ain't going to work for us. You know that.
Yeah. Feast or famine, because OnlyFans is off the table. So
it's off the table.
That being said, we keep this PG, but we have very good-looking wives. Just saying.
Maybe you read my mind there, dude. We ain't going to have a whole lot of good luck on OnlyFans, but our wives could help support the family.
Yeah, it's not really a team effort in our house, I wouldn't think, because I don't know if they could take money away from you, but I feel like if I were the one in any part of that situation, they'd take the money back.
That's funny that you said that. I was thinking last night that I don't think Megan I don't think she listens to these, so I was going to kind of test her and say something really that would get me in trouble if she heard it, but I lost my gusto that I had last night, so I'm not going to do that now.
Hey, if we talk markets up front, it distracts the women. They don't want to know what we're doing. So
yeah, they didn't make it past our optimistic fall run.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's if you have anything you want to get off your chest right now, Bo, just let it fly. So,
I think I'll save it for a later date. I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest, but I'll save it for a later date.
I got to go to a concert with my wife tonight, and I don't want her to accidentally push me off the walkway bridge over to
who are you going to see?
Cross Canadian Ragweed is playing at Husker Stadium.
One of my favorites. Huh? They got the old band back together, huh?
Yes. The boys from Oklahoma are coming to Nebraska. I know last year I went down to Stillwater to see their first set down there at T. Boone Pickens, and it was one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to. And so they're making the trip to Lincoln, and I'm kind of a groupie now. If you go to more than one concert, aren't you?
Yeah, technically, groupie? I think you are labeled as a groupie, but I'd go to them. Yeah, they're good.
So in your situation with your dad being Dwight Yoakam, are you kind of a roadie or?
No, not so much. He doesn't have any contact with me. He won't return my calls. No, Dwight won't return my calls.
Well, he's 1,000 miles from nowhere.
I think there's some sort of what do they call it when you can't go within 500 feet of him?
Oh, one of those restraining orders. So
something
you just show him the DNA test. You prove him wrong.
Yeah, that's all I need to do is get that DNA from him and verify that he's actually my dad, and then figure this whole deal out.
There you go. So, what's your plans for the weekend? You get a big celebratory market, New Money Monday. What will you do with that information over the weekend?
Well, I already got the information locked and tight. We're going to a boxing match down here, local community boxing match in Roundup. It's just a bunch of kids and meth heads, no glove, no headgear, just taking swings and knocking each other the shit out. It's a pretty good time.
They got midget boxing coming up here in 2 weeks in town just north of us here. So it's midget wrestling and boxing. So that's kind of, it's great entertainment, but I don't know if your boxing's kind of like that. It sounds more like middle Montana UFC.
Yeah, Montana redneck kind of swing hard.
So
get worn
who
out
watches
in the
the video casino when you guys are all at the boxing match? Who holds down the fort there?
Speaking of midget boxing, did you enter Walt in that, or is he too tall?
He actually might be too tall for that, but
I'll bet he is these days.
If there was a chance you could enter a 10-year-old candidate, I'm putting him in there.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I thought you just might
state qualifiers.
Put some money on your 10-year-old to beat up a real midget.
Boxing though might not be his deal. He fights dirty. If there's a glass beer bottle within arm's length, you might want to keep it away from that kid. I mean, you've been around him. He's kind of
I have been around him, but he's taking it to the next level, huh? He's not afraid to pick up an object and go to town.
No, I always say this: the college fund, not really doing it for Walt because it's more bail money. I don't know. The extending the further education might be in the penitentiary, punching license plates or getting his. What did they always get their paralegal degree? Something like that.
Yeah,
they're
in
prison. So
get some.
But
maybe look at.
He's
some
got to be
trade schools.
violent today. We're getting ready to go to Pee Wee football here at 1 o'clock.
Pee Wee start today.
Yeah, Pee Wee, and he's gonna put a helmet on a helmet, guaranteed. I think they call that targeting these days, but that doesn't register in his mind. So,
Dad, that's how you hit hard.
One of the genetics I passed down to him was CTE. So,
that's right. I didn't know that was that you could pass that down. But if anybody could, it would be you, Hank.
We're Irish, so you're naturally born with it. So, but.
Well, good. That sounds like a fun. Sunday we're going to the air show in Billings. Blue Angels, seeing the whole deal. Looking forward to that.
Heck yeah. So do you got like an American flag T-shirt, or you that seems like something that you would wear?
Come up with something, America.
Yeah, you dress like you got a Corvette, like a. I haven't worn my
4th of July shirt since the 4th of July.
There you go. Get your jorts on and your American flag, fanny pack, New Balance shoes.
I need to crack out my fanny pack. You're right.
Yeah. Well, sunscreen. I know you got that Montana sun to get a hold of you out there.
It's strong up here in the high elevation.
Yeah. I hear you. So,
what besides Pee Wee football? Pee Wee football and cross Canadian ragweed. That's a pretty big day, Hank.
Big day for us. I feel like Sunday is going to be a tough day. But I'm cruise right through it. New Money Monday, and I only think that if I'm gonna start to sober up halfway through the day, and then they open the corn market at night, that's about the only thing that could get my spirits down. But I'm riding high into Monday, man.
You are. That's good to hear, because yesterday was yesterday, and I used to send I got it in my contact list in my phone, suicide prevention hotline. I used to send that contact to Ty Thompson quite a bit because I worry about him, but he brushes shit like this off. He's the last person that needs that information. So
I'm way too confident. I'm really okay with being kind of a piece of shit, so I don't need that in my.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know. I got it to send it to friends. Yesterday being yesterday, I'm glad to hear how optimistic you are that New Money Monday's coming in just a couple days, and that we're gonna forward motion and plow through this.
Yeah, and it my track record, somebody might want to actually go take a short position on Monday just because of how poor I am at this. But regardless, I think the fundamentals and technicals pointing up, baby, guns up.
That's it. Out the red.
Yeah, shout out to
who we shouting out today.
It's Justin Ware. He's at Farwell, Texas, there in the Panhandle, right across from Texaco, New Mexico. /W, runs a lot of yearlings, and I guess they're big tech guys. I usually, when I go down there to weigh yearlings and antelope hunt, we get to go. They get to treat me to a game, and they're sweet. So
Fun.
market's up, guns up. He's a big tech guy, so shout out to him.
All right. Well, awesome. Tell Molly and the kids hi for me. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Tell Megan Tripp and Sully hi. So
we'll do. Have fun at Cross Canadian Ragweed. I'm a little jealous.
Hey, did your sister ever say hi back? Because I said tell your sister hi at the end of the. She had ever nothing?
Obviously she doesn't watch this. Oh, I got somebody who wants to say hi to you real quick, Hank.
All right. There he is. Just a beautiful dog. Specimen. We can't hear because there's so much air in between you and the microphone.
What's that?
I said we couldn't hear what you're saying because there's so much air between you and the microphone.
It's like I was muffled. He's a big dog.
All right, man.
All right. Well, I'll let you out of here. We'll talk at you next week.
You bet. Adios.
Adios. Yeah,